but don't know where to start.
Well, what I would say is to join the Future Cash Flow Club. It's a community of investors where we talk about wholesaling, we talk about creative deal structuring, buying houses subject to, all of the creative stuff that everybody's talking about. You don't need a real estate license or any of that.
Wow, where do I sign up?
Well, I would say go to futurecashflowclub.com. That's futurecashflowclub.com. You can even get a free trial. Try it out today.
Let's just say you don't pay your real estate taxes. What do you think's going to happen? They're going to take your house. That's what's going to happen. Now, there's a list that comes out in every county in America that shows you people who have not paid these real estate taxes. What if you could buy that house for the back taxes? That's right. Buy a house for, say, $1,000, $500. Who knows? Whatever the taxes were, we're going to pay it and we're going to slay it. We're going to learn all about that and more with Joseph Griffin, the tax deed wolf. That's going to be on June 14th, Sunday night. Hope you can come join us in the Future Cash Flow Club. We're going to break down the details, how you can get in the game with little to no money and really take this thing over. You know, you want to change your future, you have to change your present. So hope you're present Sunday, June 14th. FutureCashFlowClub.com is the website. Do what you do, be who you be, and I'll see you before you see me.
Can you hear me? I don't know. If you don't know who I am by now, I don't know what you've been doing. You been asleep? Let me wake you up with something. Straight up. Yeah. Allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm Chris Monroe. R to the O-E. I flip houses, rent cars, and make money. You know I'm not no motherfucker dummy. This how we do. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? This is the student master teacher, Mr. I Stay Woke, Chris Cashflow Money Monroe, and I'm right back at you with another real estate video. Today's broadcast is being brought to you by Future Cashflow Club. What is that, you say? It's a Patreon group. Join the group, get the paperwork to make the paperwork, and learn the real estate to buy property. Whether you want to buy houses, whether you want to buy commercial, whether you want to buy whatever you want to buy, land, all of it is real estate, and we're all in real estate right now. You know, I just got to get that up front and say it right now. Everybody's in real estate, whether you know it or not. The problem is you're probably on the wrong side of the equation. You're paying somebody to stay somewhere versus having somebody to pay you to stay somewhere. The money gonna move either way. It's gonna move. Cash will flow, but will it flow your way? So that's what we talk about: buying real estate. And you know, putting other people in position and helping the game move along. Give this video a thumbs up, give it a like, give it a share if you care. Coming up here in the next week, as you see, we got Joseph Griffin. We're going to be talking about some tax deeds, tax liens. You know how people don't pay their real estate taxes? We're going to get deep in the wells of that with Joseph Griffin, the tax deed wolf. Next Sunday, June 14th. Is that Father's Day? I don't even know. When is Father's Day? Nevertheless, we'll be on talking that real estate talk, so hopefully you can jump in for that. Also, on June what's the next date coming up here? June the 20th, the week after that, the Saturday after that, we got a live in-person meetup right here in sunny St. Louis in the STL. We're going to be belly to belly talking that real estate talk. You know, you talk to these people on the internet, but do you get to see them in real life? That's the real question. We're going to do that in person at the Foundry right here in Midtown, sunny St. Louis. We try to do one of those every couple of months just to, you know, let everybody know we real, you know, because there's a lot of fakes out here. You know, it's easy to be fake and act like you're doing a bunch of stuff, but it's hard to be real. And a lot of people tell me that when they meet me in person. Chris, you're the same in person as you are on the internet. You wild. I am who I am. I just try to be myself. A lot of times people want to shame you for being yourself. You being yourself is actually a superpower. Have you ever thought about it that way? What if you being yourself was actually your superpower, your strength, your way of getting ahead in life? Being yourself. Now, when you try to be somebody else, you can do it, but the saying, it's okay to be a copycat as long as you copy the right cat. But most people ain't copying the right cats. Copy the cat that's got a fat back full of money. That's what I'm talking about. So we do this every Sunday night, talking about real estate, and it all starts with lead generation. All of this starts with lead generation. You have to let people know you exist if you want to do a real estate deal, especially if you're talking about buying houses or just doing a wholesale deal. Let's keep it real simple tonight. Wholesaling. We're going to put a property under contract and assign that contract to somebody else and make a difference on the spread. Very simple concept. It's been going on way before I was even born, way before you was even born. You just never knew this stuff went on. You put a house under contract, because that's how real estate's transferred, through paperwork. All real estate's transferred through paperwork, no matter what. Somebody signed a dotted line in front of a notary. So we get a seller of a property to sign some paperwork to sell us their property. But we got to do some lead generation, like I said first. Some of the lead generation can be something simple like this sign back here that says, sell your house for full price. You may even see signs around your neighborhood that say, we buy houses, and a phone number. Very simple concept, and you wouldn't believe it, but people actually call that stuff on the side of the road, up on those telephone poles. You might see them, and just different places like that, on stop signs. People have a sign to say, we buy houses, and a phone number, and people will call that number. Now, who will call a number like that? Not the average person. Most people that call a number like that got some level of motivation. Because who's going to call a sign on the side of the road? That just sounds weird. Like a sign on the side of the road to say, sell your house for full price, or we buy houses. Don't that sound kind of weird? When you stop and think about it that way, like, who would call this? A motivated person would call it. So if a person's motivated and they got a situation and they need help, they'll call that number. Say, yeah, I got a house I want to sell. My first couple of deals in this business came off bandit signs. That's what that's called, a bandit sign. And they call it bandit sign because they're illegal in most jurisdictions. Most places they're illegal. So, not necessarily illegal like breaking the law, but illegal like an ordinance. You're probably doing some kind of ordinance violation, didn't get a sign permit, etc. But not to go down that rabbit hole. But this is why when we put out these types of signs, we don't put our real cell phone number on it. No, you get a Google Voice number, a text now number, or just have multiple numbers for your business like I do. I never will put my main number on a sign like that. It's always important to get a secondary number, a business line, another line that's just for that. So when that phone rings or that number rings, you know it's from a bandit sign. You know somebody calling with a problem. And you put your cape on and dun, 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 hello, how can I help? And they tell you what's going on. That's step one, lead generation. Now that's a low cost way. You can also do it the free way. Free is networking. Somebody has a real estate problem. They're in your phone. Hear that phone go again. Every time you look up, the phone is involved. The technology, we can't get away from it. Somebody in your phone wants to sell a house, needs to sell a house, thinking about selling a house. Do they know you're in real estate? Probably not, because you didn't tell them. You probably didn't tell them at all. Probably just say, oh, yeah, they'll figure it out. They'll go list it with an agent, which is fine. And that's what most people do, list their house with agents. But if the house needs work, if they need speed and convenience, we're the people they're looking for. Because that's really what we're selling. We're not selling the highest price. We're really selling speed, meaning we can close in a week or sometimes sooner, and convenience. You don't have the red tape. Because when somebody wants to sell a house, they got to go put it on the market with a real estate agent, clean everything up, fix everything, and it's a problem. Uh-oh. Say something wrong with my audio here. All right. So something wrong with my audio over here, so I'm going to end that one. I was trying out TikTok, but they're not acting right. Let me end that. I don't even know how to end this thing. It said no audio. Thanks for letting me know. I don't even know how to fix it. Hold on, let me see if I can fix it right quick. Settings. Let's see here. Live video. Yeah, I don't know how to change it, so I'm probably gonna have to cancel it or end it. I'm just gonna end it. Well, I tried. Exit now. Well, I tried it on TikTok, but it didn't act right. But back to what I was saying. Real estate, people usually put it on the market, but that doesn't mean you have to put it on the market. If you just need to sell a house that may need work, or you got other problems that you really can't deal with, meaning the house may need repairs, like I said, or there may be some title issues. There may be a person on the deed that's deceased, or you just can't find the person on there. Somebody got to go track those people down. This is what the value is that we bring to the marketplace. People call wholesalers. People talk bad about wholesalers, but wholesalers, real estate investors, people who come in and really do business, help people with their problems in real estate. So don't assume just because you don't have a real estate license, and you don't need a license, by the way, to do this, that you can't get into business. So wholesaling, we're putting it under contract for a number. I'm going to assign that contract to an end buyer, somebody else, not you, somebody else going to step in. So for example, let's say you find a deal, you go find a property, and you talk to Julie Boo. Julie Boo wants to sell her property for $50,000. You're like, oh man, $50,000. This house is worth way more than that. It do need a little bit of work, but I think somebody will pay more than that. And you do your calculations. That's another conversation, but you get them down under contract for $50,000, and you go find an end buyer, i.e. Chris Cashflow Money Monroe or someone similar. You say, hey, I got Julie Jew over here at this house on Main Street. They want to sell her house. I got it under contract. Would you pay $60 for it? Maybe. Let's just say $60 to keep it simple. If I agree and I look at the house and I like it and I want to buy it for $60, remember you got it under contract for $50. I buy the house for the $60. That $10,000 difference goes into your pocket. Now, remember I said you don't need a real estate license to do this. You don't need a credit check. You don't need anything but the motivation and a skill set to understand this specialized knowledge. A purchase contract and an assignment agreement. 2 documents. Very simple. A purchase agreement to say the seller agrees to sell the house to the buyer, and an assignment agreement that the wholesaler, which is the buyer on the original contract, is going to assign his contract to me. And then I'm going to pay $60,000 plus closing costs or whatever we negotiate. And that $10,000 different goes in the hip pocket National Bank. You just made $10,000, and all you did was have a conversation with a person who had some type of a problem with real estate, and you put them under contract. Now, that's wholesaling. Some people like to do that thing that's a little bit less than that called bird dog. You may have heard it before. Bird dog. It's an old term. They don't really use it anymore, but it's a thing where they basically go out and say, Julie Boo, you want to sell your house, right? I got a guy named Chris that buys houses. Let me get him in contact with you. You don't put him under contract. You just call me direct and say, hey, Chris, Julie Boo wants to sell her house. Here's her phone number. I call Julie Boo. Julie Boo, what it do? She talking about, hey, I heard about you. And next thing you know, we going to make it do what it do. And we get them under contract. Now, I might get it for 50. I might get it for 60. Who knows? Whatever I can negotiate. But remember, you as the bird dog, all you did was made a connection. You connected me to Julie, which I didn't know. I came in and made a deal. And a bird dog typically makes anywhere from $500 to $1,000 per deal. And all they had to do was generate a lead. They didn't have to do no paperwork. They didn't have to go sign no contracts. All they had to do was say, hey, I'm going to connect you with them. Generally between $500 and $1,000 per closed transaction is what it would make for a bird dog. That's even easier. You don't have to do any paperwork. You don't have to do any negotiations. You don't have to do anything. Really just connect Julie Boo to dude. And we make it do what it do. How hard can that be? It can't be that hard because people have been doing it for years. And I know people to do this on a way bigger scale. I think the biggest deal I've ever seen, well, here in St. Louis, was about a $147,000 deal. That was E. Marie. She did that back in 2019. She was interviewed on my show here when I was doing a show every week. interviewing people and stuff like that. Like we're doing next week. We'll be talking to the tax deed wolf next week, like I said. So that's what we got coming up for that. But as far as this is concerned, if you're going to do bird dog, you just refer them. Hey, Julie Boo wants to sell. Connect to the Chris Monroe or some end buyer in your market that you're connected with and let them do their magic. They get a deal, they close it, they pay you money at closing. They bought a house. Very simple. That's bird dogging. But like I said, it's just a small step to go to pure wholesaling for you to go get them under contract. Now you own paperwork. Purchase agreement is what you're going to need for that. You're going to need some negotiation skills and a purchase agreement. Now, when it comes to that, you got a cash contract, cash purchase agreement, where you're basically saying you're going to buy their house for cash in as-is condition and close on about some date in the future. Very simple concept. Now, when that contract is signed by the seller and signed by you, the buyer, if you're wholesaling, if both of you have signed it, you have a fully executed contract, you have what's called equitable interest. You have equitable interest. You have rights to the property now because you're under contract, pending title work, pending inspections, pending something. So in that time frame while you're pending, so you got a 15-day window inspection or due diligence period where you're going to be able to do your inspections, do your walkthroughs, get your lenders together if you're buying it yourself, hard money lenders, etc., private lenders, whatever you're going to use. Or if you know you're going to wholesale it during that 15-day period, that's time for you to show the property to end buyers. That's time for you to show that property to whoever. Hey, I know Johnny buys over there. He likes houses on that side of town. I know Sally, she been looking for a flip for months. She keep bugging me. Sally, I got some under contract. Get them in there. Now, when it comes to showing properties, I typically like to do a 1-hour open house if the house is vacant. So say I get a house under contract today, we might do a 1-hour open house tomorrow afternoon. Say 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock, nice in the evening, or even in the morning, whatever. Depends on when you get it under contract. I usually try to get some people in there the next day, in there to see it if I'm going to wholesale a deal. Because anybody can wholesale or assign a contract. You can or I can. And then sometimes you do what's called a co-wholesale. Somebody, you might get a deal, bring it to me, and I say, you know what, I don't even like this deal. The same deals, like I said earlier, you got it for 50, you send it to me for 60, and I found somebody to take it for 70. You made 10 grand, I made 10 grand, and the deal goes through. And that's happened before. Co-wholesale deal. I did a deal like that where it was split 3 ways. A $35,000 deal split 3 ways. That was no fun. Wish I could have got the whole thing, but how bad could that be if you split it? You can split the money. So it's all types of things you can do, but you need to be connected. But step 1 is get started. Decide today that, hey, I'm going to get in this game. I'm not going to sit here and keep watching people make money or buy real estate. I ain't even talking about buying yet. I'm talking about just straight wholesaling right now. The simplest thing you can do in real estate. Why is it simple, you ask? Because you don't have to have a real estate license. You don't have to have any money. Wait a minute. No money. You don't have to have anything other than a purchase agreement and a good mouthpiece. Can you talk that talk? Can you market? Can you generate leads? Whether that's free or paid. You know, you can do a lot of ways to generate leads for free or cheap. Like I said, those bandit signs is one. You can put posts online on Craigslist, Facebook. You can even search the Facebook yard sale groups. You see somebody be like, I'm moving soon. Here's a little secret. Message them. Hey, did you sell the house yet? That's a secret. I don't like telling it on the internet, to be honest, because you can get deals that way. But you can do it. It's up to you to take the action. I can tell you all this stuff till I'm blue in the face, like blue in the hat and blue on the shirt, but most people won't take action. Some will, but most won't. I can tell you exactly what to do step by step. And does that mean you're going to take action? Don't be that person. Be the person that gets the information, understands that, hey, there's an opportunity for you and for your family to eat. And even if you're looking for a house for yourself, you can find a house for you to buy. How do you do that, you ask? Now we're getting into the weeds of creative real estate. Now you can go the traditional route and go get a loan and provide W-2s and tax returns and bank statements, and make sure you got time on the job and your debt to income ratio is correct, and all the things that they tell you in the red tape. You can go that long route, but I'm here to tell you it's not necessary. Every house I bought, I have never had to do any of that stuff. I don't even know what an application looked like to fill out to buy a house. I got a VA loan from being in the military, never used it. Probably will never use it. They're like, oh, you can use that VA loan. I still got to do the red tape, man. You got to have W-2s and all this other stuff. I don't have that stuff. So, just being straight up, I don't have it. And income, proof of income. That W-2 is an income showing you paid a lot of taxes and got an income. And this is a problem for people that are small business owners. They write off everything or write off a lot of things. Not everything, but too much. You write off too much, that makes it look like you don't make enough money on paper, even though you can be generating more than the person with the W-2. You can be generating plenty of money, but on paper, you're not bankable. So this is why I had to learn creative real estate. Creative real estate. Now, what do you mean when you say creative? Meaning I'm buying property and I'm not putting my name on any debt. I'm buying real estate and I'm not going to get a loan in my name at all. I'm taking over someone else's loan subject to. I'm taking over their loan subject to the existing financing. If they already got a loan, I'm going to take it over. If it's what they call free and clear and there is no loan, we're going to create a note for that seller, and that's called seller financing. Seller financing. We're going to get the seller to finance us the property. We're going to make the seller become the bank. That's the best financing I've ever found, by the way. I haven't found any financing better than seller financing. Why? Simple, because when you do seller financing, you can create the terms. You can do no money down. You can do a little bit of money down. You can do a big chunk of money down. You can do low monthly payments. You can do middle range monthly payments or high monthly payments. You can do 0% interest, my favorite. 0%. Principal payments only is what we call that. 0% interest, which you can't get from a bank. They're never going to let you get that. You can do 3, 4, 5% interest, lower than what you can probably qualify for off your credit score. Or you can do high interest, if you're doing hard money loans and stuff like that. But that's another story. But if it's a seller finance, we can create the deal. And I'd rather give them a higher price on a property with seller finance, if I had to, especially if we're doing principal payments only, because that balance is getting knocked down. Every dollar we send in is knocking that balance down. Every dollar we send reduces the balance by that dollar amount versus a 30-year mortgage. You're looking at a 30-year mortgage, you're going to have a problem because the first 14 or so years of that, you're paying all interest. Don't believe me? I'll show you. Wrote a song about it, like the he'd go. So I'm going to pull up this calculator here so you can see, because I want you to know that this game is wide open, man, for those who know. If you don't know, I'm here to tell you. You're going to see some today. So let's see. Can we see that? Is that close enough? So let's just say we got our property. Let's make it a $300,000 house, right? What's a good interest rate for today? What are people paying in interest generally? So if they were going to go get a loan from the bank and they're going to do 360 months, as you see on here, is 4% even realistic, or are they getting more than that? I don't think people are getting 4%. They might be getting a little more than that. What are they paying on interest rates on properties in 2026? In the summer of 2026? What, let's say 6%? Let's say 6%. Let's just say you got good credit and you can get it for 6%, right? You got a 749 credit score. You've been on your job 8 years. You make good money, everything, right? We're buying our property for the price of $300,000, right? That's our purchase price, 12 payments per year. And we're going to show the amortization schedule. And let's calculate. So our payment, get this ad out of here, principal and interest, $1,798. So $1,800. Wow. But here's the catch. You are paying 115% of that interest, or total interest paid on the principal, is 115%. So meaning after you finish, you borrow 300, right? You made that payment of 1798 plus taxes and insurance. I just count this. Your total payment after 30 years was $647,000. That's over 2 times what you bought the house for, if you pay every monthly payment on time for 30 years. 360 months, 30 years, right? So you pay more in interest than you did for the house. You paid $347,514 in interest alone, just interest. That's not counting taxes. That's not counting insurance. That's not counting maintenance, lawn care, utilities, and all the other stuff that go with real estate, right? So if you got a $300,000 house, you really paid $647 or more, really more, much more, really. I'm trying to keep it low, but it's really not. I can't go no lower than that over a 30-year period. Now, does that make sense to start a brand new loan over for 30 years? No. So let's just say we came in and this was in, let's say, let me go down here. Year 5, they still owe. So this is 60 months in right here. 60 months in, they still owe. If you bought it at 300,000, 5 years in, I'm sorry, 60 months is 5 years. 5 years in, you've paid only $20,000 towards the principal. What? But you've been paying all that money each and every month. You can even see it on the payment schedule here. So here's payment number 1, $300 going to principal, $1,500 going to interest. And as you see, every month as time goes on here, you're paying mostly all interest for the first, let's see. Actually, let's see, that's past that. 84 months, what's that? 7 years, 96 months. You're paying mostly all interest until you get around, damn, where does it even out at? We got a lot more months to go. You're going way down. We're at 190 months, 200 months. You're 200 months in before it started becoming equal. Is that a scam? No, because they told you. It's only a scam if you didn't know. The math is math. Numbers don't lie. So you could be paying for all these years, and this is what a lot of people do, and be paying interest for the first 15 years or so. All interest. That's crazy work. Now, why would I want to go take over a loan? I'd rather take this loan over 10 years in versus starting over with a brand new clock, because as you just saw, majority of our payments is going to interest. And what is interest, by the way? That's what the bank charges you for lending you the money. That's what the bank charges you for lending you the money. If you borrow from them, they want their money and they want their interest. And this is why when you're taking over properties or looking at these different things and seeing how this math works, you can come in the middle of a deal, halfway paid off or halfway paid as far as the term, because as you can tell, that balance taking a long time. This is the balance over here. You can be, what's half of 360? 180? You halfway through and you still owe 213. What the? You halfway through, you 15 years in on your mortgage and you still owe $213,000. How that happen? Does that sound like a good deal? It can't be a good deal. I mean, I guess it could be. I guess it should be, but I guess it ain't. So I wouldn't want to sign up for that. This is why I prefer to take over somebody's payment that's already started this process, because all those payments are just basically, you're damn near renting, to be honest. It's mostly rent. You got to get all the way down here into the 360 range. If you get up over 300 payments, as you can see here, 324 payments, you only owe $60,000. You get down to 348 payments or 350 payments, you only owe $17,000. And you're really chipping away at it when you get down here in these last payments. So it take all the way in the year 29, 28, and 27 to really start chipping away at that balance. This far right number is the balance of what you owe. And that's crazy. And that's not counting if you do any kind of refinance, loan modifications, partial claims, anything happen along the way. This is why I don't put debt in my name. Why would I want this in my name for 30 years? Why? 30 years is a long time. What's this, 2026? We talking about 2056. If you go buy a house today, you got to hold that bad boy to 2056 if you stay on schedule. Any questions about any of that? What does this green number mean? Oh, maybe that's where it break even. Oh, it showed me on the thing. 223 payments in is where you're actually putting the dent into more payment than interest. That's crazy. I didn't know that was like that. I mean, I knew it was bad, but I didn't know it was that bad. So this is why we take over properties versus getting that loan. So when I take over a house, I'll come in and we'll get a brand new insurance policy. We'll get a brand new insurance policy and name the seller, aka the borrower, as additional insured. We'll name them as additional insured on that insurance policy because they still have interest in the property because the loan is in their name, even though the deed would be transferred. The deed is transferred to our name. The debt stays in their name. That's how we buy houses subject to. The deed is transferred out of their name, but the debt is staying in their name. And we make it very clear up front. We don't sugarcoat it and act like, oh, we're going to go pay this loan off or we're going to assume the loan. We don't assume loans. No. Somebody tell me something about assuming a loan. You know what I tell them? To assume a loan means you have to qualify for that loan. And I don't want to go qualify. Meaning you got to go through the stuff I talked about earlier. Seeing how much you can put down and not even that. Just the whole thing. The whole song and dance about the red tape. Who wants to do all that stuff? So I don't want to do it. So why would I do it? Doesn't make sense. So don't do it. Very simple. So we buy these houses. Like I say, we take them over. I got, let's see, 2, 3 houses under contract right now. Finna be about to be 4. Said finna be ain't a word. About to be number 4. Fixing to be number 4 under contract to close up. 2 closing this month and probably 2 closing next month or whenever they move out. Because I don't want them in the house. I want them out when I buy it. I want it vacant at closing. Why would I want it vacant at closing? Because we don't want them thinking they can stay there. We want it very clear. You got to go. Even if I got to pay you to move. Even if I got to pay some movers. Even if I got to go and do some extra stuff to help you find an apartment or find a house or find somewhere to move. I'm going to do that because I would prefer you to be out of the house. A lot of people may ask you, hey, yeah, can you buy the house and let me stay and rent it back from you? You know what I'll tell them? No. Heck no. If you didn't pay the bank, what makes me believe that you're going to pay me? You didn't pay the bank, right? So what can I do that the bank can't do? Nothing. You got a squatter. But then you got legal problems and all that. Who wants to deal with all that? It's just a lot cleaner to get the property vacant if somebody's living in it. Preferably. Now, if there's a tenant in there, depending on the circumstance, and if it's cash flowing or something like that, maybe. But generally, I prefer the property to be vacant. Because then I could do my exit strategy. What is my exit strategy, you ask? I like to do 2 different exit strategies, mainly. One is the rent to own. So I'll give you an example. This property, let me see if I can find it here. Let me see if I can get you an example. What the heck going on my computer here? There we go. Boom. So for example, what the hell? So let's see. I'll use this little blue house. So this is everybody's favorite house. Uh-oh. Pushed the wrong button. This little house right here. Bought this house. I can take it and put sold on it now. Bought this house back in, I don't know, maybe like 2020 or something like that, 2021. No, what is this? I can tell you exactly when it was. Probably 2022 because they was in there 3 years. So I bought this house from a person who was on an expired listing, meaning they put it on the MLS with an agent and they tried to sell the house and it expired. It could not sell on the market. The seller wanted $90,000. I negotiated a deal with him to buy his house for $90,000 and giving him $4,000 down, $700 a month. That's what we agreed to. $4,000 down, $700 a month. Right? I found a tenant buyer, someone who was going to move in on a rent to own. She gave me $10,000 down and $1,595 a month. $10,000 down, $1,595 a month. So remember, I had to get a seller $4,000 down plus about $1,000 in closing costs. So I came out of pocket $5,000 to buy this house. But the seller, the tenant buyer, gave me $10,000. I used their money to buy the house. So I didn't just buy a house. I got paid to take a house. Let me bring it back. Make sure you heard that correct. I didn't just buy this house. I was paid to take the house because of creative real estate and how I structured the deal. I gave the seller $4,000 down plus about $1,000 in closing costs with the title company. So about $5,000 out of pocket. My end tenant buyer gave me $10,000 down. I used her money to go close on the property. I didn't come out of pocket for $1, not even $1. All I did was some paperwork, black ink on white paper. And then it cash flowed. Cash flow. Remember, I paid $700 a month to the person I bought it from. She was giving me $1,595. So what's that? $895 a month cash flow? Let me double check my calculator. Let's do a calculator. $1,595 minus $700. $895 passive cash flow for 3 years. For 3 years. So she moved in 2022, moved out in 2026. So people ask me this all the time too. Hey, what happens when your tenant buyer moves out? Guess what? We get to start that party all over again. And that's exactly what I did. She moved out, left a bunch of junk in the house, needs a little work, and gave it to me in way worse shape than I gave it to her. Gave it to her in pretty good shape. She gave it to me in pretty, in my opinion, not too good a shape. So I'm going to share this tab. This is how she gave it back to me. All right, here we go again. Another rent-to-own opportunity. This one's centrally located. So this particular property here, I got it. Like I said, I bought it from a person that was a tired landlord, basically. He didn't want to be a landlord, which I didn't want him to be a landlord. I wanted him to sell me the property. I'm not looking to rent nothing. I'm looking to buy the property so I get the tax benefits of owning real estate. The appreciation of the real estate because it's gone up in value since I bought it. The depreciation of real estate since I've held it all this time, 27 and a half years. Depreciation on your taxes per property. That's getting into the weeds on some other stuff. But this particular property, she lived in it for 3 years. Now, remember, she moved out. She moved out in April of this year, 2026. And what did I do? Start that party all over again, sent it out and found a brand new tenant buyer. He gave me, I want to say, I don't remember what this guy gave. Was it $6,000 down? I think he gave $6,000 down. Whatever he gave down, it don't matter because it was free money. I ain't do nothing. I gave him the house just like you see it here with stuff all on the porch, a refrigerator out there. I ain't clean out nothing. The way you looking at it right now is how I put it right back out. A handyman special. A handyman special. People always say, hey, do the house got to be perfect? No. Look at the walls. Need some paint. I mean, it's a habitable house, but it need a good cleaning and it need a little bit of work. Floor is all dusty and dirty, as you can tell. Holes in the walls. Look like they've been fighting up in there. I don't know what these people was doing. Many blinds busted. All kind of little handyman stuff. Nothing too crazy. But if somebody going to give me $6,000 down And matter of fact, let me go look and see what it is. I don't like to make up stuff. I like to know what it was he gave me. Give me a second here. Let me go see if I can find his paperwork to make the paperwork. Because I like to keep it simple, like a pimple. Because, you know, a lot of this stuff can get confusing. I don't remember what he gave down, even though it was just recently. But don't make me lie. Let's go see. This was, let's see, this one. Okay. He gave... Oh, he gave $5,000 down. So here we go. I'm going to show y'all what we did here on paper. Black ink on white paper. So let me pause this. Even though I know you like looking at houses. Give me a second. I want to move this over here because I want you to see how serious this is. It's serious stuff here we're talking about. Get serious, never delirious. So we're going to share this tab instead. I don't know if you can see that, but he got this property. He put $5,000 down. He did a purchase price of $100,000. He's doing $1,450 a month for 24 months. So he gave me $6,800 to get the keys to this property. And remember, I got no money in this deal, and it cash flowed for 3 years. And I didn't fix it neither time, the first time or this time. I want to be clear about that. I did not go and put a bunch of money into fixing up a house, painting it, none of that stuff. Everything you know about real estate, delete it for now, because we're in another world called creative real estate world. So he gave me $6,800 to move in, and he started making payments each and every month, $1,450 a month. And it's the second tenant buyer on the same house I got no money in that I got paid to take. I mean, how many of these do you need before you're out of a job? How many of these do you need before you're out of a job? That's all I want to know. And this house was not in this condition when I gave it to these people. So this is in between the two tenant buyers. This is before I had the tenant buyer installed the second time. So we're not just buying real estate. We're buying property and putting people in position to become homeowners. So he's in his house. He's fixing up the little stuff in there. And then if he wants to buy it from me, what does he need to do? He need to go get a loan or get some type of private financing to buy it. Yeah, I forgot about that. It had some kind of issue on the roof up there. But he's fixing that. He took the property as is. He said, hey, I'm handy. I can handle it. I'm handy. I don't matter. I can do it. And you know what I said? More power to you. Treat me like Bank of America. He had to do all that cleanup of all that stuff. He got him a free washer and dryer. Don't care. Could have took it out. Could have sold it, but I didn't want to mess with it. Buy it as is, sell it as is. And there's people out here who have money who need a property to live in. Or he could flip this property. Because I think the ARV is about 140, 130, 140, something like that now, after repair value. You know, he could sell it to somebody else if he wanted to, but that's not my business. All I know is he got my money every month, and I make my payment every month on the underlying debt. So if he's paying $1,450 a month and I'm paying $700 a month, I'm still cash flowing $750 on a house I got no money in that I never fixed up. Is this all making sense now? Is it making sense, or are you still on the fence? And I've done deals like this over and over and over again. I got one house that's had 3 different tenant buyers in it. 3 different sets, meaning I put one person in, they moved out. Matter of fact, yeah, I do. This other one down here in Oakville. I had a person in there in that house for a year, for 18 months. They moved out. Had another person there for 3 years. They moved out. And I just put another person in the same house that I never did nothing to. And they just put $10,000 down to move into the house. And I never did nothing to it. And they'll take it as is and deal with the woes and fix it up. There's people out here with money who would love to fix on a property. Why are you fixing on it if you don't want to? Now, I'm not telling you that's not a bad strategy if you're looking to flip property. I'm just showing you that I'm playing a whole nother game in a whole nother world. Not the same. This is part of the rent-to-own program. A down payment is required to move in, and we make them a deal. And that's the story of this little blue house. And the saga continues. And it's cash flowing Still to this day. Can you believe that? Is that unrealistic? And this is how it was when I first got it, all nice and clean. This when I first got the house. Floors were shiny. Grass was really low. Now it's all tall. The refrigerator was gone too when I went back when I got it back from this first tenant buyer. But like I said, I made so much money on the deal, it didn't matter. Or did it matter? How many of these would you like to do this year? How many transactions on a property that you got no money in would you like to do this year? Because you can do them, but it all starts with a conversation. You have to let people know you exist. Take the time to say, hey, I'm going to go learn this because I can do it. It ain't nothing but conversations and paperwork. It's not hard. There is some things you need to learn. And that's why we have the Future Cash Flow Club. So you can actually learn the ins and outs of how to do this. Lead generation, converting those leads into contracts, and then dispo, whether you're going to sell it to somebody else or you're going to stay in the deal and cash flow like I like to do. So that's my number one exit strategy. Rent to own, lease option, lease purchase. Any questions about any of that? Any questions? Any questions? So yes, I basically just wanted to remind everybody exactly how the Future Cash Flow Club works, because I've been getting a lot of messages like, what is that about? How does it work? It's basically a group. So you see how I do these live seller calls, things like that. You get to get all the replays for all of those. You actually can get the paperwork, purchase agreements, assignment agreements, cancellation agreements, addendums, all of that stuff that you need if you sign up for the elite package at futurecashflowclub.com. Or if easier, it's probably you can just go check it out for a free trial. Lots of goodies in there, behind the scenes stuff, actual help with your deals. If you want to communicate, say, hey, I'm stuck on a deal, I need some help, I'm looking for lenders, I'm looking for whatever, I'm a resource for you. So all you have to do is be part of the club. futurecashflowclub.com. Check it out. That simple. It's that simple. futurecashflowclub.com. It's on Patreon. You can join for as low as $10. Like, what the heck? Actually, you can even get a free trial. Check it out. See if it's something that's good for you. And learn. Take the time to say, I want to understand this stuff. You could learn this stuff in 2-3 weeks and be doing deals. You can actually be doing deals immediately. You don't even take that long. The only thing is up to you to learn what you need to learn, which is how to generate a lead. Then put it under contract. Then dispo it. So I was talking about my first exit strategy, lease purchase. My second and really most profitable, I don't know if it is the most profitable. I don't know which one most profitable. But my other favorite exit strategy is furnished rentals. Furnished rentals. What is that? Some people can use Airbnb, VRBO, Booking.com, and all the other sites in regards to doing it. Furnished Finder. Those are some of the sites. Or just put it straight on Zillow. Starts with a Z, ends with a W. Zillow. I put it on Zillow and find somebody to rent a property. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you another property because I know you like to be visual. I'll show you this other house that we actually bought, and it's here. So we got another house. This house is out as a furnished rental. Now, we got a furnished rental. This isn't updated. This actually is available in July or August. Well, I don't know yet. She might be extending. So this particular property is rented right now for $37.50 a month. And what is this property, you say? It's a 3-bed, 1.5 bath house. How did you do that? It's fully furnished. It's fully furnished. What more you want? All you need is a place to stay. It's got a little desk, nice little TV. Let me zoom in. Can I zoom in on this? Something like that so I can see. I already replaced that couch. These are old pictures, but bedroom still there. Little full-size bed, sleep with 2 people in there. Cute little setup. I bought this house, what was it, 2 years ago, 2024? And it's been a cash cow ever since. It's rented for $37.50 a month. How did I come up with $37.50 a month? I made it up. I made it up. And you can make it up too when you understand how the game is played, because it's always somebody looking for something. So when I got this house, we put some floors in it and we redid the kitchen. The kitchen was totally redone. And I furnished it. So, I mean, what's some floors in the kitchen? Could be some money, but it made so much already. Why not? The payment on this house, I believe, is like $900. I think $900 a month. And it's a little cash cow. I don't know why some of these pictures turned. But nevertheless, this is how we do it. Furnished rentals. I got this one going as a furnished rental, and I got a couple of others going as a furnished rental right now. This little house here is a furnished rental right now. Let me show you this. This little house. It's a little 2-bedroom, 1-bath. Cute little house. Nothing special about it, but it's perfect for a furnished rental. 2 to 3 people can stay here. A little shotgun style kitchen. Nothing special. But as a furnished rental, it's generating $700 a week. So what's that? $2,800 a month. I got somebody that's staying there weekly right now. $2,800 a month on a 2-bedroom. Why would I do a traditional rental if somebody gonna pay me that kind of money? Why would I ever do a traditional rental on a single family home? Somebody tell me that. Make me a believer. Because I don't believe nothing else. I believe in a cash to the flow. That's why I'm Chris Cash Flow Money Monroe. If you're gonna do real estate, get paid. Get paid. Because it's not always easy doing this stuff. You know, moving furniture and setting it up and staging it and keeping it clean and all this stuff. This guy been in this house for about 4 weeks now. He's like, yeah, I just want to stay weekly. He wanted to rent it from me regular, but I was like, nah, we'll just do the weekly at $700 a week, $2,800 a month. Or you can just do $2,800 a month. So I don't have to keep him in there. I do have it out as a rent to own. So if somebody did come up and say, hey, I got $10,000 down or something like that. How much is this house? $169,000. So if somebody got some down payment money, $10,000, $15,000 down, or it don't have to even be that much, whatever they got, because I don't have any money in this deal. Most of my deals are on what they call an infinite return, meaning I don't have any money in the deal. It's on infinite return. It feeds itself, meaning I got the money out that I put into it. Bought this house for, I want to say about $1,200 out of pocket. Closing costs only. Took it over, structured the deal to get the arrears put on the back of the loan, and took over the payments. As a matter of fact, we're in trial payment right now. We just started trial payments this month, as a matter of fact. So I've had this house since what? December, 6 months, no payments. I mean, would you like a house, no payments for 6 months? And these are just some of the things that I've been learning while I've been wheeling and dealing, doing more of these creative deals. You don't realize until you get in, like, wow, you can have a house for 6 months to a year before you make a payment. Wow, and you could be cash flowing that bad boy all that time while you wait. Yes, that's spooky. So this is what we do. So, and that's just a couple of the properties. You know, there's so many things you can do with real estate. And all of these deals, I never use my credit. I never begged anybody to work with me. Never had my real estate license. Never did any of the things that you were told that you had to do. You don't have to do anything other than learn what you need to learn and execute on that. Learn what you learn and execute on that. Some people don't never take action. And they wonder, why can't I get a deal? Because you're playing. You can't play around. You got to jump on in the game and let them know you're here. With both feet, you got to jump on in the game with both feet and be serious. I tell people, I used to have a saying, drop out of college and go learn real estate. That's how serious this stuff is. Because you can not only just provide a cash flow for yourself, meaning an income source that you don't have to work for. This real estate makes money whether I go to work or not. The passive part of it. I mean, it does need a little bit of stuff here and there. It's not 100% passive, but my rent to own deals are. They're basically 100% passive. As long as they pay, they can stay. If they don't pay, we get them up out of there. It's just that simple. Because the bank won't pay money. I want my money, my cash flow. And, everybody want to live somewhere. So, and if that doesn't work, you can move into the house yourself. Find yourself a house. If you like the house, you can move into it and take over somebody's payment of $500, $600, $700 a month. You're like, man, y'all paying $1,500 in rent. I'm paying $700 and I own the house. That's what you can do. Leverage the skill set. So if you got any questions, comments, concerns, the floor is open. And, it's just a game that you should be playing. The rich stay rich for this reason right here. We rather go beg somebody for a job, ask for an opportunity. Please let me work for you. Give me a raise. Get the raise of $25 an hour. Yeah, right. Ain't happening. $30 an hour. Yeah, right. Ain't happening. Go make your own destiny. Create your own economy. You got the skill set, or you can get the skill set if you don't have it. You can definitely go and get it. It's here for you to go get it. That's not counting, the stock market plays and all the other stuff that I do. But real estate is still the number one killer. I mean, it's killing the game because you don't have to work for money. If you don't learn to make money in your sleep, you will work until you die. And you don't want to work until you die. Because you know why? You won't be good. And that's not a good type of guy. So hopefully you all got something good out of this tonight. Don't forget, next week, we're going to be on with Mr. Joseph Griffin. Joseph Griffin, the tax deed wolf, talking about tax deeds, tax lien certificates, etc. How you can buy real estate with a little bit of money. And sometimes, if you're really creative like me, no money. But that's getting into the weeds. I don't want to tell you the secrets. I'll wait till next week and let Joseph tell you how to do it. So it's always a play to be made if you want to make the play. If you don't want to make the play, that's on you. So don't say nobody told you. Drop out of college, go learn real estate. Also, we got the live in-person meetup Saturday, June 20th, coming up here at the Foundry. It's a Saturday, 4 to 7. Come on out and get belly to belly with the family. We'll be out there talking that real estate talk, networking, telling jokes, having a good time, eating some good food, and doing what we do, being good people. That's what we do. We solve problems for people who own real estate. It's just that simple. So hopefully you give this video a thumbs up, give it a like, give it a share if you care. Let me see, got a couple questions. Let's see here. Big Trail says, who was your mentor? Well, I'll tell you this. I stand on the shoulder of giants. Everybody's my mentor. Anybody I see that look like they know what they're doing and they do a process that works, I learn. You know why? A fool could tell you something you didn't know. A fool. They don't have to know everything. You can learn little tidbits over here, put it together and learn it. A lot of it can be trial and error. I don't tell people to learn it that way. It's a lot easier to just learn it from somebody who know what to do and say, hey, what do I do next? I got Sally Sue on the phone. What do I do next? Just ask me. You put them under contract. We get equitable interest. Then we start going to see it and doing all this other stuff. I want to put them under contract before I see the property. Why I want to wait and then go see it and go through all that? I like to have control of the property. So let's just say Sally Sue is on the phone and we do a deal with her and we put her under contract. I can take my end buyer, if I'm not buying it, with me when I go see it. Because I already got it under contract for $50,000. I'm trying to sell it for $60,000 or $70,000. Matter of fact, we did a deal over there in Spanish Lake. Contracted for $30,000, sold it for $64,000. $34,000 wholesale deal right here in St. Louis. Spanish Lake. We need another one of them. That was last summer. I'm due for another one of them big whoppers. I mean, that was a wholesale deal. I mean, that was a good house too. I really should have just kept that house for $30,000. But You know, it's a thing called get your money. Get your money, because it really ain't funny. So hopefully you can give this video a thumbs up, give it a like, give it a share, and I will catch you on the next one. Do what you do, be who you be, and I'll see you before you see me. Peace.
So I want to get into real estate, but don't know where to start.
Well, what I would say is to join the Future Cash Flow Club. It's a community of investors where we talk about wholesaling, we talk about creative deal structuring, buying houses subject to, all of the creative stuff that everybody's talking about. You don't need a real estate license or any of that.
Wow, where do I sign up?
Well, I would say go to futurecashflowclub.com. That's futurecashflowclub.com. You can even get a free trial. Try it out today.
Let's just say you don't pay your real estate taxes. What do you think's going to happen? They're going to take your house. That's what's going to happen. Now, there's a list that comes out in every county in America that shows you people who have not paid these real estate taxes. What if you could buy that house for the back taxes? That's right. Buy a house for, say, $1,000, $500. Who knows? Whatever the taxes were, we're going to pay it and we're going to slay it. We're going to learn all about that and more with Joseph Griffin, the tax deed wolf. Ooh, that's going to be on June 14th, Sunday night. Hope you can come join us in the Future Cash Flow Club. We're going to break down the details, how you can get in the game with little to no money and really take this thing over. You know, you want to change your future, you have to change your present. So hope your present, Sunday, June 14th. FutureCashFlowClub.com is the website. Do what you do, be who you be, and I'll see you before you see me.
So yes, I basically just wanted to remind everybody exactly how the Future Cash Flow Club works, because I've been getting a lot of messages like, what is that about? How does it work? It's basically a group. So you see how I do these live seller calls, things like that. You get to get all the replays for all of those. You actually can get the paperwork, purchase agreements, assignment agreements, cancellation agreements, addendums, all of that stuff that you need if you sign up for the elite package at futurecashflowclub.com. Or if easier, it's probably you can just go check it out for a free trial. Lots of goodies in there, behind the scenes stuff, actual help with your deals. If you want to communicate, say, hey, I'm stuck on a deal, I need some help, I'm looking for lenders, I'm looking for whatever, I'm a resource for you. So all you have to do is be part of the club. FutureCashFlowClub.com. Check it out. I don't know what you've been doing. You been asleep? Let me wake you up with something. Straight up. Yeah. Allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm Chris Monroe. R to the O-E. I flip houses, rent cars, and make money. You know I'm not no motherfucker dummy. This how we